I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, David Shriner-Cahn. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful night?
I'm great, Angel. How are you?
I'm excellent. As I was telling you before, sometimes it feels as though there isn't enough time in the day. But as you said, hey, we have a couple of hours and definitely we have 12 minutes, right? So, David, please do tell us, what part of the world are you in right now?
I am in beautiful New York City.
Wonderful. And which of your talents is responsible for us meeting?
Well, I believe, Angel, it's podcasting with a little help from LinkedIn.
Yeah. I'm so thankful for LinkedIn, right? So keyword podcast /family. Because once you're a podcaster, you're family, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so tell us about your podcast.
So the podcast is Smashing the Plateau, and we started in 2014. We've been doing 2 episodes a week consistently since almost the beginning.
Wow. Congratulations. Consistently is a big word. Congratulations on that. So tell us, what's the focus of the podcast?
The focus is for, there's a lot out there for startups. And the focus is not about startups. The focus is about actually the long haul. Entrepreneurship and business leadership, they're not a sprint. They're a marathon. So this is about how do you be consistent in your success over the long haul. And success is not a linear progression. There are a lot of ups and downs. And when the roadblocks hit sort of midway and whatever tools and tricks you've used in the past don't seem to work, it's exceedingly frustrating. And you see your what it seems like is your colleagues and your competitors and your peers are achieving breakthroughs left, right, and center, and you don't seem to be. And it's a recipe for extreme anxiety. So the podcast is all about how do you overcome that anxiety? How do you actually put one foot in front of the other consistently long enough to see the kind of success you desire?
Which explains the name, right? Smashing the Plateau.
Exactly. That plateau is a killer.
Yeah, it is. It can be, but yeah, with the right support. So who did you learn this skill from? Is this something that you experienced?
Yeah. Well, so I've been in leadership roles in the business world for a long time, for now well over 30 years, inside organizations, also as I've been working in my own business, working with clients that face these kinds of plateaus all the time, and they're really tricky. This is not a simple process. People make it seem like breakthroughs happen overnight, and that they're really easy. Business is hard work. Leadership is hard work. Trying to inspire people day after day, when you may be filled with self-doubt, and you may be questioning why you're doing what you're doing, you still have to inspire your team. You still have to inspire everybody in your organization, because if you don't do it, you're going to be a failure as a leader.
On this podcast, one of the things I do later down is invite individuals to the time machine. I think being an entrepreneur is a daily time travel where you are in one place and then you have to be reminded of where your team is, right? And then you speak to them understanding that they're in a different place. It's truly challenging sometimes.
Right. It's very much like, in marketing, you need to speak to where your prospects are, and you need to speak from the point of view of your prospects. And in leadership with your team members, it's the same way, whether they're employees or they're contractors, whatever kind of relationship you have with them, you need to speak their language, and you need to speak from their perspective and understand what it is they're trying to achieve. And your most important role is to help them succeed.
Is the best place for us to connect with your podcast, smashingtheplateau.com, or is there any other link that you'd like to point us to, David?
That is a great link, smashingtheplateau.com. In addition to the podcast, we also have a a Facebook group. Anybody who's interested can apply to join it. It's a closed group, and we have tips and training in the Facebook group that we don't have on the podcast. And you can access the Facebook group by going to smashingtheplateau.com/Facebook.
There's something I read today. I'll share it with you. It says learning and innovation go hand in hand. The arrogance of success is to think that what you did yesterday will be sufficient for tomorrow. That's a quote by William Pollard. Really fascinating how these things connect. Only read chapter 1 of that book today. Effective virtual conversations.
It's so true.
Yeah, love it. Well, tell me, David, one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years, please.
Besides podcasting, I've done podcasting, and consistently over the last 3 years and more is to run my business and serve my clients.
How does that make you feel?
It's a humbling experience. It's very rewarding to see yourself as someone who is a catalyst and an enabler to help other people achieve their goals.
Why would you suggest someone do that, David? Exactly that. Not just run their business, but definitely look forward to helping others achieve their goals.
Because the truth is, the studies that have interviewed people on their deathbed about looking back over their life and what is it that their biggest regret is. Their biggest regret is not about making money. It's not about material things. It's about serving others and leaving the world a better place than they found it. And I think if you can do a little bit of that every day, then it's a great day.
And I totally agree with that. Amazing audience, we are live with David Shriner-Cahn. Do check him out. He is the podcast host of Smashing The Plateau, and you could definitely get more at smashingtheplateau.com. David, let's switch gears for a moment now, and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. What is your earliest childhood memory?
Well, my earliest childhood memory is not the Caribbean or beautiful blue water. Actually, it's a car accident that happened when I was probably 2 or 3 years old. And I suspect that I remember it because it was traumatic.
Interesting. So you're two or three, you're there. Is it that... All right, so tell me, why do you think this memory is so clear?
There was trauma involved. It was pretty shocking. I bumped my head, but it wasn't something serious. And it was something that my family talked about a lot. So I was constantly reminded.
Yeah. I'm guessing in those days, like, you weren't strapped in, right? You were probably just
I was in a car seat that in today's world, people would shudder if they looked at it because the car seat was made of material that would probably kill you if it hit you, and there was no seatbelt on the car seat. I wasn't strapped in at all. Yeah, no, the car was like a head-on collision. I went flying.
Wow. And yet you're still great. Well, hey, can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind? I love the idea that in business, hey, there are people that can look as though they are in a safe position, but without the correct things in place, you could go crashing from time to time and seem not to be injured. But both you and I know and do believe now that it is so important from the get-go to put the things that are necessary in place, so that not only you, but the people that surround you can be in a safe position.
So true.
If we fast forward to when you were it's a lot like what happened with you, right? But you're not doing that now. You're not going to do that now, right? You're going to put the baby in the best car seat possible from the beginning. Love it. If we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
There were a lot. There was actually a lot of good music then. One of my favorites was California Dreamin' by the Mamas and the Papas. It was a very sort of kind of visionary song, very uplifting.
Yeah, well, it definitely connects to who you are, my friend, because you are the visionary, aren't you?
Thank you, Angel.
You're welcome, my friend. All right, David, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form, so it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to go pretty quickly here. Are you ready?
Yes.
David, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
I try to pass on my skills in what I teach every day.
Are you married?
Yes.
Do you have children?
Yes, I have 2.
All right, boy and girl?
Yes.
Wow.
How did you guess?
No, it's just like the normal thing. It's okay. No powers here. Do you believe in God?
Well, I believe we have a higher purpose that should guide us to leave the world in better shape than it was when we entered.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Oh, yes.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
How about 3 hours a week?
No.
What about screen time, the phone and the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Depends on the day. And I've never measured it. I would guess it's probably mostly less than 8.
All right. David, after having 1,001 conversations in 3 months in 2016, I came up with a workbook. The name of it is Yours. It stands for Your Own Unique Real Self. And connected to that, as you dig deeper into your own unique real self, is your mission, your own unique real statement. If you had to share with us, David, a statement that represents who you are, your mission, what would you say that is?
It's really very simple. I believe that every individual has gifts, every team has gifts, every organization has gifts, and when you share your gifts, the world prospers.
Love it. The world does prosper. David Shriner-Cahn, this was a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
I just would love feedback from anybody who listens to our podcast, Smashing the Plateau. We're always trying to make it better. So if there's anything you notice that you would like to see more of, or there's something different you'd like to see, please get in touch with me and let me know, and check out our Facebook group.
Wonderful.
smashingtheplateau.com/Facebook.
Love it. David Shriner, again, sorry, couldn't leave out Cahn. It's so important, right? The Cahn is so important. So David Shriner-Cahn, thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thank you so much, Angel.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.